Hello everyone, my name is El Parnaso, and in today's video I'm gonna share with you some deep secrets about how to win in Yu-Gi-Oh! So you can get a national championship too. And no, it's not testing 10 hours per day. So let's talk about it. And don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and share the channel with your people so we can grow. Now, the first thing that you need to understand is that regardless of how much time you are testing to understand your deck, or how much time you are investing in understanding everyone else's deck, you still need to play the actual game for a whole weekend. And when I say a whole weekend, I mean a whole weekend. You're gonna go Saturday morning and you're going to play basically 8 hours straight, ideally with just a 30 minutes of recess, which when you think about it is even worse than college when you were a kid, just so you can do the exact same thing the very next day. So let's say that you're testing 10 hours per day, every single day. If you go to the tournament and you get tired or you get frustrated or you get, hungry, etc., it's not going to matter how much you understand your deck or how much you understand everyone's deck, because you're still going to make misplays, you're still going to waste your time thinking bullshit in the moment when you should be thinking about how to win the duel. And you're still not going to make it anyways, right? So just by that train of thought, you will need to conclude that you need to do a lot more than just testing, because testing is not even the most important thing. You can have the testing, but if you don't have, for example, the stamina to actually play for 8 hours, or you don't have the mentality to keep yourself quiet during those whole hours of playing, you're losing anyways. So the first thing that you need to understand is that stamina is more important than testing. And it doesn't to the point that sometimes it's not even going to matter if you know everything, because at the moment of actual playing, you being a human being with fatigue, thinking bullshit or getting angry for some custom hand that just beat your ass in round one, like Mitsurugi Asamina beating your draw because they normal summon Kwakimeru Guardian, like it happened to me at round one of these nationals, and therefore I lost. you get my point, right? You need to think about those things even above the idea of testing for long hours every single day. So the first thing that you need to do is guarantee that your emotions are going to be in the best shape possible for this whole weekend. And in order to do so, you need to understand what kind of factors can you actually modify in your daily day so you can avoid those kind of mental fatigue or mental stress or mental infuriating whenever luck is not in your side, right? So the first secret that you need to try to take in consideration, and in order to just not believe in what I'm trying to tell you, I'm going to use academic research in order to justify what I'm about to say. Because what you need to do is start to eating healthy. This is crucial when it comes to play Yu-Gi-Oh! In a high level of success. Why? Because it's already been proven that there are actual implications in your behavior when it comes to ultra-processed foods, to the point that even in the environment of the law, there has been causation of eating ultra-processed food for criminal justice, for criminal behavior. So this paper right here will help us. Like, obviously, I'm not going to read everything here because that's not the actual purpose, but you obviously can read it. I'm going to leave the links in the description. So what I want you to need to understand here right now is that, let me just go right here. Based on the available evidence in the realm of nutritional criminology, we suspect that dietary inputs contribute to and press upon existent vulnerabilities of criminal behavior in ways that are more consequential than currently appreciated in the criminal justice system. Yes, this is a critique to how the criminal justice system don't take that much into consideration the implication of a diet mostly based on ultra-processed food whenever you're trying to understand a criminal, right? But you can apply this to Yu-Gi-Oh! when it gets to the point that if you are eating in a daily basis or mostly ultra-processed food, you are going to put yourself in a situation that you may have a behavior that is not going to be ideal whenever you have bad luck playing Yu-Gi-Oh! For example, in my round one of this very same national championship, I faced an Asamina Mitsurugi that beats me because he was playing Kwakimeru Guardian. And, like that could be that easily could have been the end of my tournament because I would have been bitching about it or getting angry thinking about how I ended up in that situation, right? And if I'm thinking about it during the whole tournament, I'm not thinking about playing the next games. If I get angry because I couldn't control my emotions due to that scenario, I'm going to lose even more duels during the whole tournament, and I will be in an even worse situation than I was already. If you are basing your diet in ultra processed food, as you can see, you will behave in not this ideal scenario when you can put yourself together after something like that. If I didn't put myself together after a situation like that, I wouldn't have won that national championship. I would have been there with my friends bitching about it and how that was the reason I didn't achieve anything. You know, like you feel me? So having yourself in a very healthy diet will put yourself in a situation when you will handle your emotions the better. Because if you put yourself in an ultra processed food diet or mostly ultra processed food diet, you know, junk food, you know, bullshit food, you are putting yourself in a worse situation. Therefore, if you want to put yourself in a better situation, you need to start to eat more healthy, because that is going to have direct implications when you play Yu-Gi-Oh! Because at the end of the day, this game is not about spreadsheets, it's not about combo lines, it's not about, oh, it needs to be my day or some shit like that. It's about you, the human being, giving everything you have in order to try to do the best results. If you want the best results, you need to put yourself in the best mental shape. And eating healthy is completely necessary to put yourself in that best scenario so you can handle everything better. Now, that will be the first approach. The second secret that I want to share with you, and my personal secret, something that I feel was very necessary for me to win this national championship, is that you need to start drinking maca. This right here, maca. I'm pretty sure that you can locate it in your country whenever you are. Because, you know, now why I'm saying this? Because this thing right here, the maca, is, as you can see, associated with improvement of mitochondrial ability and you know, preservation and of cognitive function. And remember, when you play Yu-Gi-Oh, you are using mostly your brain to think, to make the plays, to put your emotions together, blah, blah, blah. Therefore, putting yourself in the best cognitive situation to play the game is also necessary to actually win. Therefore, if you look for any kind of food that will improve your cognitive function during the development of your life, you are putting yourself in a situation when you are more able to think clearly and deeply whenever you are playing Yu-Gi-Oh! So you can see how these two things can really be mixed together in a very good way, right? You're putting yourself in a situation when you control your emotions the better and your cognitive functions are in the most optimal scenario to play the game. So I really advise you to drink this maca. As you can see, I'm not bullshitting you. These are actually scientific papers. Yes, I know that this one is related to studying, you know, middle-aged mouses. I just thought that it will be funny to use mouses here to show you the power of the maca, because at this point, it works even in mouses. And I've been playing a lot mouse private investigators, so, you know, mouses, human beings, the same shit. So what I wanted to show you here, again, I'm gonna give you the link so you can dig yourself together if you want to. Here, right here. In this study, the mice in maca show better learning and memory ability. Not only that, here, right here, we demonstrated that 5 weeks of maca improved cognitive function. Not only that, it also demonstrates to possess multiple biological properties, such as anti-fatigue and neuroprotective activities. So you can see how you can put yourself these two secrets together, right? So you can be, as a human being, in the best shape possible to think clearly and deeply. Now, there's another plus with all of these kind of things that you are doing, because let's say that you are playing, like your approach is to play Yu-Gi-Oh 10 or 17 hours per day. The reward for doing such a thing will be to understand Yu-Gi-Oh the better, and that's great. Obviously, testing and doing those kind of things is very important too. But if your main focus whenever you approach Yu-Gi-Oh is the idea of you testing, the consequences is that that testing is just going to improve yourself when it comes to understand Yu-Gi-Oh! And basically nothing else, because you're testing the Yu-Gi-Oh! game. So I think that you really need to focus more in these two aspects of the game, making yourself better in your mental stamina, in your psyche, and in your cognitive abilities, because these things are also going to help you in literally every aspect of your content life. Not only in Yu-Gi-Oh! This improves your life in everything, and therefore will improve you even mostly than in other things in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because you play with your brain. Your brain, you need to put your brain in the best scenario possible with diet and with specific magic ingredients like maca. Because, I don't know if you see it, but there are other good consequences right here that will definitely improve your life and will help you realize that there is a lot more in life than just Yu-Gi-Oh, right? So when you so these two things I think are very important, and I think that people not understanding or not seeing the value in focusing in those two things, like avoiding junk food and choosing very wisely what you eat so you can improve your cognitive functions, makes the consequences that whenever you are playing already in top cut or whenever you are playing the last rounds of your tournaments, you are going to start to make misplays. A lot of people, even the highest people that you may imagine, will make misplays when they're playing top 8 or top 4, and they will blame it in the idea that they are tired, that the tournament has been long, blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, it's not that. It's that you are not putting yourself in the situation so you can prevent that consequence. You are going to go to eat at McDonald's, you are drinking soda instead of maca, and at the end of the day, that's your choice. You are making that decision. And you need to remember the third thing. Every tournament starts before the tournament. Not only in your deck building and how you are predicting the meta of that tournament, but you choosing to do these kind of things. Because another thing that I don't really like about people approaching a tournament is that because it's during the weekends, they try to hang out during that Saturday night. They go to do whatever they do for a long time of hours, and therefore they don't sleep their 8 or their 10 hours before the second day of the tournament, and that is also going to be a factor to go and make misplays when you are playing, for example, the top cut. And if you saw my string matches at semifinals and in the finals, you're going to see that was a huge factor. My opponents were more tired than me because they didn't drink their maca in the morning. They didn't bring 10 boiled eggs so they can play the whole tournament. So during the procedure of the tournament, so they can have food and healthy food. None of them did that in the whole tournament. That was my specific advantage that no one else had. And that was a crucial factor so I can put myself together in the scenario that I was put in those string matches. For example, at semifinals, in the third single, I didn't draw any hand trap going second. My opponent made the Rizal combo. They set a counter, they set anti-spell fragrance, and my 6th card was Droll Lover. And I still won that duel. Why? Because I drank my maca and my opponent didn't. And that is your choice as a Yu-Gi-Oh player. If you want to improve yourself in the level that no one else is doing, you need to do the things that no one else is willing to do. Because at the end of the day, choosing to eat healthy in a consistent basis, avoiding ultra-processed food, and choosing things like maca to drink every single day is your advantage. And I'm sharing that secret with you so you can see how your Yu-Gi-Oh gameplay is going to improve even a lot more than whenever you chose to play like 17 hours per day. Like, what the fuck is that, bro? Go and have some good quality sets, okay? Come on. Put yourself together. Those are my 3 main advices right here. Things that people really actually don't do that much, and I don't really understand why they do it when clearly and scientifically is a fact that you need to do that in order to achieve the next level without wasting 17 hours of your life playing Yu-Gi-Oh every single day. Like, that's not healthy at all. This is healthy, and it also helps you to play Yu-Gi-Oh the better, and sometimes even is more helpful than doing the testing every single day because of all the things that I explained to you right now. And tomorrow I will showcase my semi-final match to show you how this makes the big difference even against the worst of lucks that you may have during the development of a duel. If you enjoy it, subscribe, leave a like, and share it with your people. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.